Hey guys, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. Today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 staple for any deck in Digimon TCG 2020. And what I mean by staple is I mean one of these cards, any of them can go in any color deck no matter what. Let's check them out. If y'all think this channel is helpful in any way, or if you find this video helpful, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to that 1,000 mark, and I absolutely cannot wait. And if you really want to support the channel, consider checking out my Patreon. I'll have a link in the description below for that. You can get access to my private Discord server, as well as some other incentives. I'm going to be doing some giveaways here soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, if you want to check out my official merch, I have a link in the description below for that as well for Teespring. I've got my logo on stuff, as well as I've got these brand new commission phone cases that I put in. I had a friend of mine create these up based on the new anime movie, and I think they look so good. They fit for any kind of iPhone or any Samsung case. They look sweet. I'm definitely going to be trying to ordering this purple one here. I think the Knowledge one is just awesome. And yeah, so definitely check those out. All right, first up on the list in the number 5 slot, I'm going to throw up Skull Greymon here. His when played effect is destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with blocker. With the new black Digimon that are coming out, I think that the black deck might be a good contender to deal with, and they have a ton of blockers. I mean a ton. And just being able to nuke one instantly without a second thought, that is pretty awesome. Cost of 7 isn't terrible. He is only a level 5, so you're not going to get much more use out of him beyond that. But I definitely think he's worth a look, and that's why I put him at the number 5 slot, just in case that black blocker deck becomes a problem in your meta, at your locals or tournament scene, wherever you're at. Definitely keep an eye on this guy. Probably get a play set just to be safe, even if you don't plan on playing him in a normal red deck. Definitely get a playset of him just in case to have on hand, because you never know what the meta is going to do, and if blockers become a huge part of it, this guy is great for dealing with it. Moving on from there, in my number 4 slot, I got Puppetmon here. He is a big 11 cost. He is a level 6 to counter that, though. His when played effect is rest one of your opponent's Digimon during your opponent's next activate phase. All of your opponent's Digimon cannot be made active. Also, when attacking, just as a bonus here, you get +1 memory. So he's got more than just a one plate effect, which I think is cool, that you get actually a little bit more use out of him, even after the turn that you play him, which is pretty nice. But his main effect here, the when played, I think is so clutch. You're basically shutting your opponent out of a turn almost entirely, especially if they've built up a big board. If you're going against like a rookie rush deck and they've still got a bunch of rookies on, this counters that. If your opponent is playing a lot of effects that have the download ability where they can tap their own to reduce the cost, Puppetmon is a great way to deal with that, because then they kind of, they tap their own Digimon and then you just get to leave them tapped, which is pretty great. So just multiple uses here. Also, just getting to rest one of your opponent's Digimon, I think is great, because then you get to pick which one, or if they have an annoying blocker, you get to put that blocker in its place, and then you can attack for free in just multiple situations where this guy is so useful. So definitely keep an eye on him. I think he's worth getting a playset of. Maybe not this particular rarity of one, but I think he's just the better looking, so that's why I went with this one. So definitely get a playset of this guy as well, because you never know when something like this might be useful, especially if we run into issues kind of like Millenniummon, where he's kind of hard to get rid of. Something like this might be a good way to deal with him for a turn or two, as well as any kind of blocker decks, the black decks, things like that, like the Ragnarlordmon. Definitely a good way to deal with him for a little bit, and then that gives you a whole bonus turn basically to set back up and hopefully be able to push through whatever they have. Alright, moving on from there, my number 3 slot is going to go to Metal Cedrimon. I think he's a pretty good contender as well for being able to fit into any deck, because his Wind Plate effect return up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 or less Digimon to their hand, and then they lose all their Digisources after that. Also during your turn, this Digimon cannot be blocked by your opponent's Digimon without Digivolution sources. So what comes to mind immediately for this is one, Rookie Rush. He's kind of a low budget Rookie Rush option. I do have another one for that. We'll get to in a moment. But what his is nice is that it's any level 4 or less, so you get to kind of have a little more control than my next option. But having it as level 4 also is a great one, because purple, if they're playing Piedmon, is bringing back those level 4s out of the grave, and I think just being able to drop this guy right after that Piedmon comes on the field is pretty awesome, because you're able to handle Rookie Rush decks with him, as well as any players using the Piedmon purple deck. So kind of a budget option. Just if you have it, you can play it. Also, the fact that Digimon without Digivolution sources can't block him is pretty great. A lot of people just play blockers from hand, especially early game, and just with no Digivolution sources. So all those black decks that are going to be coming out after the new wave, whenever it gets here, who knows. I think he's going to be a great contender for that, just because they're going to have so many blockers, and I think he's just going to be able to push through it without issue. My next option, though, is going to be the main way for dealing with Rookie Rush, and I should not have exited out of that. And that's going to be Volcanic German. His Wind Plate effect is destroy all your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. So the difference between him and the Metal Cedrimon down there was that his is any level 4 or lower, whereas his is any 4,000 DP or lower. So Rookie Rush obliterates their whole field. So if they're running, just building, you just drop this guy and just take them out. Especially if they're going to be trying the new, the blue Rookie Rush strategy, where they're using a lot of jamming, and they're just kind of building up and to drop the Cedrimon to reset all of them. Then I think that this guy's a good counter to prevent that from happening, especially if they give you enough memory to drop this guy and they have their whole field set up. They're about to rush you, no pun intended. The next turn, you just lay this guy out, just sets them back so many turns. I would run this guy probably in any deck at any time, no matter what, especially early on. I think Rookie Rush, for one, is going to be one of the cheapest options for players to run if they're trying to be competitive and they don't mind being a little cheeky. I know I've definitely considered it for if I need to go to any kind of bigger tournament, definitely running some rookies, because I just feel like they're going to be a very affordable, like cost-effective deck to build. And something like this, running it at 2 or 3, just completely null and voids that. So definitely get a playset of these, because you never know when you're going to need it. And a security attack +1, I mean, you can't complain there. That's what's nice about this, the second set here, is that almost all of their level 6 that they dropped are kind of staples. So definitely check that out. And so, like I said, all these level 6s in this second set here were great, and that is no different from Magna German here. This is pretty good. I've seen this in several decks online here recently, and no matter what color, and they're using this guy, or her rather, and when played, if your security is 3 or less, recover 2. So you just get to instantly heal back almost half of your security, which is just massive. In a game where you've only got 5 security and you're playing a color that doesn't have any kind of security recovery, being able to just get 2 back is, I mean, that's a massive like ratio improvement. I mean, that's 40% more health essentially if you play this one. It's unfortunately its when attacking effect isn't very good unless you're playing a yellow deck. So you're definitely playing it just for the recovery options, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I've literally seen this one card bring back several players from the brink, just dropping this, giving themselves several more turns, as well as a pretty big beater on board. So again, this is another one that's 11 cost, 10,000 DP, just like the other ones I've been showing, but definitely worth picking up a playset. Something you could definitely run in any deck. I would probably run it in every deck, as at least as a 2 of, no matter what. No matter what, I would run this at least as a 2 of in every single deck. That is why this is my #1 pick for my top 5 of the best staples of this the Digimon TCG game. I do have one honorable mention though, and that's gonna go to kind of a watered down version of her, and it's gonna be from the first set here. And that's the Magna-German, or Magna-Angemon, sorry. When played, recovery +1. A little bit lower cost here, 4 less memory, 4,000 less DP, and you get 1. So definitely kind of a more of a budget option compared to that other one. A lot easier to get a hold of this guy. I'm gonna guess, don't quote me on that, but I feel like he's gonna be a little bit more affordable and easier to get a hold of. Also, if you're kind of cringing on that 11 memory cost when played effect, this 7 cost might do a little bit better for you. Depending on your strategy, this guy might fit a little bit better. So that is going to be my one single honorable mention. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like I said, please like it. And if you haven't already, subscribe. I can't wait to hit that 1,000 mark. And you guys are the reason I'm doing this. And I hope you find this helpful in some sort of way. If you have any other mentions that you would like to help with other people, definitely put them in the comments below, and I'll definitely read them and reply, and I'm sure other players would greatly appreciate any kind of support you guys can give. Alright, until next time, I'll be seeing you.